Hello everyone, my name is Lydia. I'm a program coordinator with Solano Resource Conservation District. We've partnered with the city of Benicia to bring you the Benicia Water Education Program. How have you used water in your homes today? Maybe you washed the dishes, you did a load of laundry, took a shower. Have you ever thought about where that water is going? Well, here we are at the Wastewater Treatment Center, and we're gonna find out exactly where that water is going, how it gets cleaned so that it's safe for us and the environment.
Hi, my name is Andy. Welcome to the wastewater treatment plant. I'm standing here at the point where the water first enters. All of the water that goes down the drains of homes and businesses in town ends up in two large sewer pipes that meet here and flow into the treatment plant. After the water combines and flows into the treatment plant, it receives preliminary treatment, which removes the material from the water that would be unbeneficial or harmful to the other treatment processes. Because we want to keep the wastewater safe and clean for us and the environment, it's important that only normal things go down the drain. What do you think belongs down the drain? Once the large solids are removed, the water is pumped up to the grit removal process. Here we slow the flow down just enough to settle out any heavy inorganic material like sand, gravel, and eggshells. After the large solids and inorganics are removed, the real treatment can begin. This next stage of treatment is called primary treatment. We use our 4 primary clarifiers to slow the flow way down, so slow that any readily removable solids separate from the water stream. All heavy organic material sinks to the bottom of the tank, and all light material floats to the surface. But what are left are solids that have stayed in suspension in the water and dissolved impurities like salt, sugars, and other nutrients contained in the wastewater. To deal with these things, we use a population of microorganisms that eat up these dissolved impurities in our secondary or biological treatment process. The bugs in this process are aerobic organisms. That means that they breathe oxygen, so we have blowers that supply air to the basins through diffusers, just like a fish tank, but on a much larger scale. We control the oxygen, the bug population, and a number of other parameters to be sure we breed exactly the right organisms to treat the water properly. The water eventually flows from the secondary treatment processes to the secondary clarifiers. Here, the activated sludge flocks together and separates from the water. The activated sludge and water mix, known as mixed liquor, comes up in the center of the clarifier and disperses out across the tank. At this point, the organisms have polished the water, and aside from receiving disinfection, this water is cleaner than the Carquinez Strait. We have reached the final stage of treatment. Now that the water is as clean as it is, the only thing left to do is to disinfect and dechlorinate. After the water is chlorinated, the water flows through the serpentine pattern of the basin to allow for contact time with the chlorine. After the proper amount of chlorine contact, the water is considered to be adequately disinfected. But we can't discharge chlorine into the straits because that would kill the plants and animals, so we have to dechlorinate the water too. This water is totally dechlorinated. Now it will be chemically safe to discharge to the environment, but we also have to prove that it's biologically safe and that we have removed the right amount of pollutants. To find that out, there are tests that have to be performed in the lab. Let's go check it out.
My name is Caroline. I worked here in the Benicia Water Quality Laboratory. We run tests on this water to see how polluted it is so that the operators know how to best treat the wastewater. All of this is done to stay in compliance with the government agencies that control us, but most importantly to protect the environment.
It is very important that we perform representative tests all along the way to be sure that the water is properly cleaned. On average, we run over 1,200 tests per month. Now that the water is clean and has left the treatment plant, let's see what happens to the solids as they're removed along the way. Once all the solids make it into the digester, they are broken down by anaerobic bacteria, which are very similar to the ones that live in our own system. That is why it's called the digester. It functions just like your digestive system. Just like you, the digester has to be kept right around 98 degrees to function properly. After the solids spend their time under digestion, just like your digestive system, it is time to get rid of some of those solids. All of the other solids that are removed from the flow stream can be biologically treated to be much cleaner. From the digesters, these solids, also referred to as digester sludge or biosolids, are sent to the belt filter press for dewatering. We add a chemical to help the solids to stick together, and then they are squeezed to get as much water out as possible. The dewatered solids are deposited into a conveyor that drops them into a hauling container. These biosolids are taken to a facility that puts the dewatered sludge through a bit more process and turns it into a soil amending product that is used by farms all over Solano County. On behalf of everyone here at the Benicia Wastewater Treatment Plant, we appreciate the opportunity to show you what happens with your water after you use it. Thanks for coming by.
Now you know how they clean and process the water that leaves our homes. From Benicia to the Bay, it's important to keep all water clean so that it's safe for us and the environment. Thank you for joining us today at the Wastewater Treatment Plant.